To Larry's Anything Goes. Hope you guys having a great and exceptional day. Today's word of the day is Nelson. Nelson stands for a wrestling hold in which the user places an arm under the opponent's arm and presses the wrist or the palm of the hand against the opponent's neck. I chose this word today because a lot of times the people that we associate with have us in a Nelson, or I remember watching the WWE days, when it used to be the WWF days, of they called the full Nelson. And a lot of times people that we associate with, because I've noticed now, like a lot of people that I've known my whole life, every time I have a conversation with them, it feels like I'm being placed in a full Nelson, because it's always negativity, it's always drama, it's always, they just want to discuss what happened 20 years ago, but they don't want to talk about the now and the future. And I even try to change the subject matter and talking about the now and the future from a positive perspective. They look at me like I'm smoking dope or something to that effect, or I'm an axe murderer or something like that. So with that being said, this is why I like to engage new people. This is the reason why I went to InvestFest, because I got to meet a lot of people who have the same mindset, or even know more than me. For me to sit in a room for hours and shut up and not say anything, that is the power of learning. Because too many times people, even when they're seeking advice, they still want to keep talking because everybody wants to prove how intelligent they are, how special they are, how much they really know. And a lot of times we know what we don't know. All right. We know a lot, and there's a lot we don't know. And I know every day is a chance for me to learn something new. That's why I read books. That's why I listen to podcasts. That's why I'm trying my best to engage with people who have the same economic mindset, or even something above what I can comprehend, because that means I can learn. First time I actually had a sorry about that. Of course, people want to call me when I'm live on Instagram. But the first time I had an in-depth, this long discussion conversation, I talked about this last night, with the Uber driver, from the time he picked me up to the airport to the time he set me down, dropped me off to the house. We talked the whole time about economics and investments. I think the man was from Pakistan. And he, it was a great conversation, because he was saying that I seemed like I was a public speaker, because of how passionate I was and how I'm able to just speak about certain things in a simple manner. I say, because that, and I'm like, toot my own horn, but when people explain something to me, I want it to be explained in a simple bullet point manner. Do not give me a long, drawn out dissertation, because that's when you're going to lose me. It's not because I have a short attention span. It's because I just need the meat and potatoes of it all so I can hit the ground running. And when I explain something to somebody, I want to give them the meat and potatoes so they can hit the ground running. Now, if you're going to ask questions later, that's fine. But a lot of times people were basically veer off to the end, like you're at the Hoover Dam, or you're at the Grand Canyon, and there's cliffs where you can fall over and hurt yourself or possibly die, instead of just walking the straight and narrow. And that's the same thing when I'm explaining something. I'm walking you through the straight and narrow of something, of a specific subject matter. So that means there's no reason for you to veer off to the left, to veer off to the right, until you've reached your destination of understanding, and then veer off to the left and the right and draw your own conclusions, as long as you reach that level of understanding. I always say, give it to me in bullet point, and then the dissertation will come later once I understand it. Then the additional questions will come, and things of that nature. So, and having that conversation, we were talking about InvestFest, talking about economics, talking about investments and different things that you could do. Next thing I know, this gentleman is telling me all the great stuff that he's doing and what he wants to do. And I'm just like, hey, that's a great plan. And I'm like, hey, do you have an individual retirement account? He's like, no. I said, well, you're a self-employed person. I think I talked about this yesterday, but I said, I think it behooves everybody to be, if you're self-employed, because you work for Uber as a self-employed contractor, independent contractor, I said it behooves you, because you're considered a 1099 employee, so therefore you're a self-employed contractor. I said from a tax perspective, that can work out in your favor, especially if you create like an S corp or LLC. But I said, but talk to your tax professional. Don't just take it from a random guy you just met in public. And then the money, the earned income that you're making from doing Uber can be taxed differently. All right, it's like, and then you get more write-offs and deductions with your vehicle, especially if you try to register your car in your business's name. So it's just all these different things. And once again, I'm not giving out investment advice, so do your own research. Don't say Larry said this and didn't work. No, talk to a tax professional, talk to a financial professional. I'm not either one of them. I'm just talking about my life experiences and what I do. All right, had to put that out there. This is for information purposes only. Do your own homework, do your own research. But these conversations is what gets my gear going. This is like the coffee to my mental. when I have these kind of conversations. And when I'm surrounded by people that don't want to have those conversations and constantly want to complain and bicker like a 5-year-old, that's where I feel like from a mental standpoint, I'm being put into a full Nelson. They're basically putting their arms around my brain, and it's like they're trying to snap my brain in two because they want to keep me in the town known as Negativity Town. And I've been a member of Negativity Town long enough in my life. I don't want to be associated with it. I've moved out of that place, and I don't want to go back. I might veer to it every now and then because we're all human beings, but I might walk through the outskirts of it mentally. But then I'm like, oh, let me go back to the land of positivity, because Negative Town, all it does is bring me down. All right, so I leave it at that. Today's quote of the day is by Steve Harvey. One, because I finally got to see him on Sunday at InvestFest, and then two, because of the crazy internet rumors that are happening, which I really don't care, because either way his money's going to be good. So anyways, he says failure is a great teacher, and I think when you make mistakes and you recover from them, you treat them as valuable learning experiences, then you've got something to share. And that's just what it is. Like the idea of we cannot make mistakes, the idea that everything's going to be 100% perfect. That in a perfect world, that'd be great, but that's never happened. Even if you're a person who's a billionaire, there's always something you got to worry about. You got to worry about your health. You got to worry about your family's health. You got to worry about people attacking you from all different angles. There's always going to be a problem that you're going to have to engage with, but it's how you respond and how you evolve from it is what matters at the end of the day. So on that note, do the great three things, like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. And as I always say, make money moves, or you're going to live, bro, like a fool.